Hi, welcome to this grounding practice. You'll need 2 blocks. You can probably get away with 1 block. You can probably get away with no blocks, but I would recommend having at least 1 for this practice. And you'll need also a strap. If you don't have a yoga belt, you can just use whatever you have, like a scarf or tie or dog lead or whatever you've got. So we're going to just start in a seated position, however's comfortable for you. I'm going to sit on my 2 blocks in a kneeling position, but you can be cross-legged or you can also be lying down. And then you can start to close your eyes when you're ready to. And just starting to kind of drop anything that you've got happening off the mat in your life. And just using this next hour as an opportunity just to come back to yourself. Noticing kind of where the energy is in your body. If we've been quite busy and juggling a lot, it can be quite high up in the head, in the chest. It can have this feeling of kind of rising upwards. And for this practice, we want to try and really bring our energy downwards again, down into the lower belly, the earth center, down into the legs and the feet. And just to remind us to embody our whole bodies again, not just our heads. We spend a lot of time in our heads. And just settling in with your breath, acknowledging your natural breath. And just observing the breath can tell us a lot about how we are. If the breath is quite fast and quite high up in the body, we might feel a little bit more in our heads, in our thoughts. And so through this practice, through some deeper breaths, we kind of try and bring our energy and our breath down into the belly. You might even place a hand on your lower belly. And start to deepen your breath. As you breathe in, you're seeing if you can feel your lower belly rise. As you breathe out, it falls and draws slightly in. Just keep that going. Almost creating a bit of a rhythm. I'm going to do 5 S breaths. So you can open your eyes, keeping your gaze soft. We're going to breathe in through the nose, filling the belly. As you breathe out, you make this hissing sound. Just breathing out the air all the way out, but quite slowly. You can inhale again. And then that hissing sound. We'll do 3 more like that. Another 2. You want to feel like it's, I can't talk and do it at the same time, but you carry on. But you want to feel like your exhale is kind of, you're slowly releasing some pent up kind of pressure in your system. Okay, 1 more. Beautiful. Taking your hands to prayer at the heart, closing the eyes. Setting your intention for practice to get grounded, to come out of your head, back to earth, back to body. You can bow your head towards your heart. And then you can start to blink the eyes open. And we're going to come into an all fours position. Just put your blocks to the side for a moment. And you're going to just tuck your toes under. We want to start opening the soles of the feet, the gateways to the earth, the current of energy that comes down from the lower belly to the earth. Okay, so we're going to just tuck the toes and just start to sink the bum back towards the heels a little bit. And for some of you, this might be enough. You can stay there. Okay. If it doesn't feel enough, you can walk your hands in and maybe even on top of the thighs. We're just going to stay for 4 more breaths. Really send your breaths down to your feet. You might introduce that Ujjayi breath if you know that breath. Or just long and deep through the nose. You can of course always come out of the pose before I call you out if you need to. Okay, we can come out, hands forward, just release the toes and give them a little tap on the ground. Okay, we're going to grab a block and put it between the thighs. I like the middle setting of the block, but you can also have the close together setting. So there's 3 settings, the small, the medium and the large. So obviously you're only not going to use the big setting, but maybe the medium or the little setting between the thighs. And there's a slight squeeze in. As you inhale, you're going to move through cat-cow, so just start to lower the belly, lift the tail a little bit, lift the chin and chest. And as you exhale, draw the belly in, round the back. And just keep that going. Your inhale opens you up. Your exhale rounds you in. Couple more. There's that little squeeze of the block. Coming back to center. I'm going to tuck the toes under and just bring the hands just a couple of inches forward of their position at the moment. So a bit of a wider tabletop with toes tucked, and we're going to just lift the knees and have that sense again of hugging in between the thighs. We're going to push up to downward dog with the block. If you've got your block on your middle, or on your smaller setting, you might turn it to the middle setting, because feet can be hip distance apart in down dog. You might feel like they're a bit close together with the block at the smaller setting, but it's personal preference, so just see what feels good. See if you can stay for a few more rounds, maybe 3 more rounds of breath. but no, you can always come out before if you need to. You can lower the knees slowly down again. Remove the block. Take the knees wider apart, big toes together. Sink back to a wide leg child's pose. Arms forward, head down. Continue your breathing a few rounds. Really feel the earth. Let your energy really move down into it. Okay, from here, just looking up towards your hands, you're going to come back up into a tabletop, this time without the block between the legs. Move through a few cat-cows. As you inhale, open up. As you exhale, rounding in. Keep that going. Next time you're rounded in that cat back, tuck your toes again and push back to downward dog, this time without the block. Walking out the legs a little bit. Just moving and grooving into any tight spots of the body. And then we're going to just tilt forward, rock forward into plank. So move your feet back, hands forward a bit if you need to, so shoulders are in line with your wrists. See if you can just take a breath here, a little lift through the bum and through the lower belly. Legs on, shoulders spread. Lower the knees down, lower yourself slowly onto your belly. Keep the elbows hugged in nice and close, point your toes as you inhale, lifting up, little cobra. As you exhale, lowering back down, you're going to find your way back to your downward dog. You might come back through tabletop first and then push up to your down dog. With your next breath in, see if you can lift the right leg into the air, three-leg dog. Looking between the hands, step it through into lunge, lower that back knee down. Okay, you're going to just bring your hands to the front knee, so you're lifting up for a moment. Take an inhale as you lift slightly out. Exhale as you sink back in. Feeling this nice stretch on this front of this left hip. Inhale to come out. Exhale to come in. One more breath. Okay, and then we're going to get the two blocks under your hands. You might have them at the higher setting. You might just have one block. If you do, just have it under the left hand. And then we're going to just come up into a pyramid pose. Okay, so you're going to bring that back foot down. You're straightening both legs out. And you can have both hands on your blocks. You can have a little bit of a bend into that front knee. And see if you can have a really nice long spine. I'm just taking a couple of breaths here. Just into the beautiful length of your legs. And we're going to spin this pyramid pose into a wide leg forward fold to the left side of the mat. So just turn your hands around, turn your feet around to face to the long side. Legs might widen apart a little bit if you want them to. You can get rid of blocks or you can keep blocks there. It's really up to you. I'm going to just bring my hands down. And just take a couple of breaths here. Again, this focus on your lovely long legs, your feet, this connection to the earth. Allowing gravity also to kind of draw the upper body down. Okay, you can grab hold of your blocks if you like to and just walk yourself back towards the front, facing the front in a lunge. Move the blocks to the side, come back to your downward facing dog. From here, rocking forward to plank with your next breath in. A nice strong plank, solid body. Lower down the knees or whole body as one if that's in your practice. Coming down. As you inhale, find your lift through the heart cobra. Point through the toes. As you exhale, lower back down. Come back to your downward dog. With your next breath in, left leg rises up. Look to hands, step it through. Help it through if it doesn't quite make it. Drop the back knee. You're in your low lunge. You can bring your hands just onto that front leg, lifting up. Taking a breath in. And then breathing out to sink forward into the hips a little bit. We'll do that 2 more times. So as you inhale, you're just going to come slightly out. As you exhale, you're going to sink in, feeling that nice opening in that right front hip. 1 more time. You can bring your hands onto the blocks again, framing that front foot. Step your back foot in, so you lift the back knee and step that right foot in a little bit closer. You're in your pyramid pose. Find nice length through the spine. And a sense of groundedness through both feet, both legs. If it serves you, you can have a micro bend into your left knee. Just taking 1 more long breath here. Then we're going to spin the blocks over to the right, spin the feet over to the right, so you're in your wide leg forward fold again. Lower the blocks if you like to, or get rid of them completely, it's really up to you. Close the eyes, feel into the legs as you breathe. It can be really nice to kind of find a little bit of a lift with your breath in, so you kind of come slightly out of the pose. And then a deeper kind of bend into the exhale. Okay, and then we're going to walk the blocks back towards the top of the mat. Hands down, step back to your downward facing dog. From your downward dog, inhale as you rock forward to your plank. Exhale to lower down, knees, whole body. Inhale into your cobra, opening through the front of the body. Exhale, lowering back down, finding your downward dog. From downward dog, you have a little bit of softness in the knees and just walk your hands back towards your feet so you end up in a forward fold at the back of your mat. Knees can be nice and soft. Just let your spine hang. You might hold on to your elbows and just take a few breaths through your nose. And we're going to release the hands down towards the floor. And you're going to walk the feet out a little bit wider, maybe about the width of the mat. and the toes are going to turn out diagonally. So you're going to see if you can lower down into a bit of a squat. You might come into a low squat, or you might be a little bit higher, okay, wherever feels appropriate. You can also be in a squat but with the heels lifted up like that. You might not have the heels down. Okay, and you might just bring your hands to prayer and use your elbows to open the legs and the legs to press into the elbows. And just take one more breath. You're going to bring your hands back down and kind of turn that back into a wide-ish leg forward fold. Toes are still turned a little bit out. And then see if you can ground through your feet and start to roll up through the body. Once your head starts to lift, your arms can start to lift and your heels can start to lift. So you can be on your tippy toes. And then as you exhale, hands are going to come through center, knees bend, you come back to that squat, whatever height you need to be at. Hands come down. You're going to roll up slowly, slowly, just in your own pace. Doesn't have to match me. Arms can lift, heels can lift. And then you can lower back down. Do one more like that. Make sure you're still breathing. And then you're going to just bring your hands back forward. Next time you're in squat, back to your down dog. And we're going to lift the right leg into the air again, 3-leg dog. This time bend through the right knee and see if you can open a bit through the hip. So you can kind of taking that right foot over to the left behind you, kind of stacking that right hip a bit on top of that left hip. Turning back towards the front, so hips are squared, looking forward. You're going to see if you can step your right foot to the right of your right hand, okay? Drop your right knee. You can definitely have your hands on blocks. Okay, so we're in a lizard lunge. Okay, the difference being that the right foot isn't kind of right in front, it's a bit more out to the right side. So you can have your hands in front of you. And you might like to have your hands on blocks. You might be okay to get rid of the blocks for now. Or you might like to lower down a little bit. Okay, find your edge. Some people very easily can come down onto forearms. Some people have to stay up. Some people need a little extra with blocks. Really doesn't matter. You just want to feel this nice opening in the hips and legs. Close your eyes and just take one more full conscious breath. If you've lowered down at all onto your arms, you're just going to come back onto your hands. Lift that back knee and step back to downward dog. And just walk it out a little bit. Okay, we're going to do the left side, so lifting the left leg up into 3-leg dog, opening through the left hip, taking it out to the right behind you, maybe looking under your left armpit. And then we're going to bring that leg through, left side of left hand, lower the right knee. Feels perfect for me just to stay here, just like this. But if you want to, you can lower down or you can come higher on blocks. And just take a few rounds of breath. Okay, we're going to try something here. You're going to come onto your fingertips. If you've lowered down, you're coming back up. Come onto your fingertips. We're going to try and step that back foot forward. So lift the back knee first, so you're in like a lizard runner's lunge. And then see if you can step your right foot forward next to your right hand and come into that yogic squat again. Whatever your version of yogic squat is. Okay, then we're going to turn this into a forward fold. So you can tilt forward, start to kind of straighten the legs a little bit, and then roll yourself all the way up slowly by grounding through the feet. Arms can lift as heels lift. You can reach up and then lower the heels and bring the hands to heart. You might bring your feet just slightly more close together for your Tadasana mountain pose. I'm just finding they don't have to be like glued together, but they can be close if you like them together, or they can just be hip distance. And finding a comfortable standing position where you feel stable, rather than feeling it has to look any particular way. Closing your eyes, we'll just bring the two hands onto the lower belly again, one hand on top of the other. Breathing in and breathing down into the lower belly as you breathe in. As you breathe out, kind of sending that breath, that energy down through your two legs, feet into the earth. So we're encouraging this downward current. Do that a few more times. So as you inhale into the belly, as you exhale down through the legs, feet into the earth. 3 more. Okay, and then you can start to open the eyes again. There's still this real awareness in lower belly and feet. I'm just going to move through a round of sun salutation. As you inhale, you're going to lift your arms out and up, grounded through the feet. As you exhale, bow forward over your legs. As you inhale, find your halfway lift. As you exhale, step back to plank. Stay for the inhale in plank. Exhale to lower knees or whole body as one in a push up, lowering down. Inhale into your cobra, lift through heart. Exhale, lowering back, tucking toes, coming back to dog. We're going to add a little standing flow here. So you're going to lift your right leg up as you breathe in, 3-leg dog. Looking between your hands, and as you breathe out, see if you can step that foot through into runner's lunge. We're going to just bring that back foot in a little bit and plant the heel down, ready to come up to warrior one. So grounding through the feet without the arms, just push down to lift up through the upper body. As you inhale next, lift your arms forward and up. As you exhale, lotus mudra, Padma mudra. So you're bringing your thumb and your pinky fingers together and spreading out the other fingers. As you inhale, you lift the arms. As you exhale, lotus mudra. One more. Now bring your hands behind your back. Just straighten that front leg for a moment. And with your next breath in, you're going to really draw the shoulders back and lift through the heart. With your breath out, bend into the front knee, lower the heart forward, humble warrior. Just stay for a couple of breaths. Strong legs. It's almost like you're sliding the mat apart with your feet. Your front foot almost sliding a bit forward, your back foot sliding a bit back, but without actually moving. We're going to see if from here we can turn this to a warrior 3. Okay, so you're going to see if you can lift that back foot off the ground. Release the arms, maybe into a nice wide position, and then see if you can draw your left knee in towards your chest You can use your arms to kind of draw it in a little bit. And you can start to take that left leg back again, coming back into your warrior three. This time just bringing your hands down onto a block, making it more like your standing splits. Doesn't matter how high that left leg comes up behind, but you're just seeing if you can take it a little bit higher than it was in warrior three. And then we're going to bend through that left knee and see if you can bring it behind the right knee, which you're going to bend as well. Then you're just going to land down into a seat. Okay, I'm going to spin around so you can see. Okay, so you've landed down, you had your left knee behind your right, and then you just kind of slunk down like that. And you've ended up in ready for a twist. Okay, so you're going to not look the same as me because I'm not mirroring you, but you're going to turn to your right, bring your right hand behind you. Left hand can just hold on to the right leg a little bit. You might feel quite intense in the hips. Just only come as far as feels good. Just take a couple of breaths into it. And then we'll turn back to the front. Wherever your front is, you're going to release the legs. Bring your hands behind you and just windscreen wiper the hips from side to side a few times just to loosen out again. Okay, and then we'll simply cross the legs and transition back to our downward facing dog. Now, yogi's choice, you can stay here in down dog, you can take a child's pose, or you can move through a vinyasa. I'm going to move through, so as you inhale, you might rock to plank. As you exhale, you can lower slowly down as you wish. Inhale into your cobra. Or maybe you want to come into up dog now, up to you. Finding your way back to your downward dog. With your next inhale, you're going to lift the left leg up into the air. With your exhale, you're going to step it through. Help it through. I always have to help the left leg through. It's a bit tighter. To your lunge, runner's lunge, and then step that right foot in a little bit closer. Ready to come up for warrior one. Pushing down through the feet to rise. There's a little bit of a bend in your left leg. As you inhale, next lift the arms up. As you exhale, lotus mudra to the heart, and you might lean slightly back if that feels okay for your back. Release the arms down as you inhale, lifting up. As you exhale again, lotus mudra. Last one. Bring your hands behind you, lace the fingers. As you inhale, you're going to draw back. Just straighten the leg for a moment. Straighten that front leg as you draw back through the shoulders and lift through the heart. As you exhale, you're going to bend through that front knee and just bow forward. A little bit to the right of that left leg. Staying for a couple of breaths. As you inhale, come back up. And we're going to get ready to come into warrior three with the arms behind us. See if you can just bring your weight a little bit forward into that front leg, which can be bent, as you start to just hover that back foot off the ground. Okay, and then option to lift it up a little bit higher up and really charge through that back heel. You can release the arms if you like to. And see if you can draw the right knee in towards the chest. Charge through that left leg a little bit. Outer left hip. Hugging in. And see if you can come back to that warrior three again. One more time into that standing balance. Back to warrior three. And bringing your hands down onto the blocks for standing splits. Okay, my leg does not go up very high. I've got very tight hamstrings, so don't worry if yours doesn't go very high either. Okay, it doesn't matter. Let go of aesthetics and just get into feeling, get into grounding. Bending through that right knee. Bring it behind the left knee and kind of land slowly that foot down, that leg down. Okay, I'm going to spin to show you again. So we're ready for our seated twist. This time you're going to bring your left hand behind you. Right hand can just settle on that left leg. Only twist as deeply as feels nice. It's quite intense for the hips. If it is too intense, just come to a cross-legged position instead and simply twist to the left. Okay, we're going to slowly turn back to the front. Release the legs. We'll windscreen wiper them again, so hands behind. Letting go of the jaw. That was quite intense. And then you're going to simply cross the legs again. I've got a shift to show you. Come back to your downward dog. Just stretch out the legs again. You can start to kind of lower the heels a little bit. You might shorten your downward dog a little bit. Up to you. Shortening the downward dog means bringing the hands closer to the feet. And then we're going to come into a child's pose again. Drop the knees. And if you like, have the knees closer together this time. Rest the belly onto the knees. And maybe your head onto a block. Arms can wrap alongside the body. If that's comfortable, palms facing up, or they can just stay forward, palms facing down. And just get grounded again. Just feel the earth, the solidity of the earth and your body, and the block under your head. You can also have your hands under your head if you don't have a block. Connect to the rise and fall of your breath in your whole body, your whole back. Okay, from here, I'm going to slowly start to lift up, press through the hands, and find yourself in a seated position. Legs can come forward, and if you're someone that has quite tight hamstrings like me, you can sit up on a block or a couple of blocks made into a seat. Okay, and if you're tighter as well, it can be good to just keep a little bit of a bend in the knees. Okay, and feet want to be pretty much flexed. Okay, rather than just floppy. There's a little bit of activity in the feet. Okay, from here, I'm going to lift the arms up with a breath in. And as you lift the arms up, feel the sitting bones really grounding down. And as you breathe out, you're going to fold forward over the legs. You might be able to catch hold of the feet or the big toes. Don't worry if you can't. You can also just hold on to wherever you can reach in the legs. And again, the knees might feel like bending a little bit more, especially if you feel like your spine has to round quite a lot. We'd rather have a bit of a bend in the knees than an excessive round in the spine. Deep breathing. And the whole back line of the body, back of the legs and the back. Last breath. With your next breath in, release your hands back down and slowly you can come back up. And then from here, we're just going to bring the bum off the block if you're on one. Just pop it to the side. And just bring your feet down, both legs in front. I'm going to see if you can just tilt back a little bit and lift your feet off the ground. But keeping this kind of length in the spine, a little bit of activity in the core. Okay, and this might be enough for you to just stay here, but you can see how it feels to just let go of the legs. The belly has to work a little bit more. The hip flexors have to work to keep the legs up. You can try straightening both legs if it's in your practice. If you have quite open hamstrings and strong hip flexors, that's what's required to straighten both legs in boat pose. I can't do it. I can do it a little bit. Let's see what you can do. Take another breath. And then bring the soles of the feet together. Paddikonasana. You can fold a little bit forward over the legs. Heels can come in a little bit closer to the hips if you like. You can just kind of keep them where they've landed. And if you feel like it, you might feel like you need to lift your bum and place it back down a little bit more onto the front of the sit bones. I felt like I had to do that just to kind of find that little forward tilt of the pelvis. Come back to those belly breaths. You might close your eyes and really focus on that kind of downward current of energy. You're inhaling down into your belly and you're exhaling down through the legs, feet into the earth. Okay, we're going to slowly come back up with the next breath in. Knees, you can bring them gently back together. Slide your hips forward just behind your heels. Grab what you have as a strap and lie down on your back. Just take a moment, just melt. Moment of melt, moment of just relaxing the back. You might feel like just straightening out the legs for a moment, just feeling. Just softening. And then we're going to just gently draw the knees in towards the chest. Just give yourself a little bit of a hug. You might like a little rock from side to side. And then you're going to grab your strap and just lower the left foot back to the floor. Keep it bent and then put the strap around the right foot. I like to do it like kind of towards the top, just kind of that top section of the foot, just underneath the ball of the big toe and across the ball of the little toe. Feels quite nice there. Kind of keeps you in a bit of a flexed position with the foot. Just that sense of really lifting the heel up towards the sky. If your legs are quite open and you can easily straighten the left leg out, you're welcome to. Okay, see how it feels. For me today, it feels better to just keep it bent. We're just going to take the strap just with the right hand, so the two sides of the strap in the right hand. Left hand can rest onto the left hip, and you're just going to slowly take that right leg out to the side without the left hip leaving the ground. It might help you to straighten the leg, or it might help you to just let that left knee just slightly fall out to the left as the right leg goes out to the right. Okay, however you can find balance and ease, let the body self-suggest. Just take another breath here. And slowly coming back up. And we're going to lose the strap, so bend through the knee, remove the strap. And then you're going to cross the right knee on top of the left knee. So the left leg's bent, foot down, right knee crosses on top. And then see if you can move the knees in towards the chest, coming into reclined Gomukhasana, or cow face pose. And option to just see if you can grab the shins, okay, or the feet. If you can reach the feet, grab the feet. Otherwise, just the shins or the ankles. And you're just seeing if you can kind of pull the feet towards yourself. So you're flexing your feet if you can. Just keeps the knees a little bit safer. If this pose doesn't feel possible, if you can't get a good grip, you can also just do your figure 4 pose, right ankle over left knee, and draw the left knee in. I'm working a similar area, but you're just more doing one hip at a time, doing it like that, rather than this pose is kind of both hips at the same time, getting a little external rotation. Just taking one more deep breath wherever you are. And then releasing the feet, releasing the legs, and just widening the knees apart into a little bit of a happy baby pose. You're welcome just to have the hands onto the knees and just spread the knees apart into this very simple modification of happy baby, or you can see if you can grab the feet and open out. Up to you. Feet can also be more towards the middle. Okay, some people can't spread them wide apart, doesn't matter. I prefer this version for now, just holding the knees apart a bit. Okay, we're going to bring the feet down again. Get the strap, and we're going to wrap it around the left foot. Left leg up into the air. I've got a nice long strap. I would really recommend long straps. You can get a good grip. You can keep the neck and the shoulders quite relaxed. Option to straighten that right leg if you want, but you don't have to. Hold the two sides of the strap with the left hand and allow the left leg to come out to the side. But want to really keep that right buttock down. So it's tempting to kind of go like this and just let your body follow the leg, but see if you can just really let your right hip stay grounded. It might mean just allowing your right knee to just fall out to the right a little bit as your left leg goes out to the left. And sometimes it's quite nice to just have your left arm down on the ground, left elbow down. It's kind of like scaffolding. Okay, so it's supporting that open position of the leg. If it happens to happen like that, it does for me. It doesn't for everyone. Okay, and then we'll just bring that leg back up again. Loose the strap. Cross the left ankle over the right. Sorry, the left knee over the right. And draw the knees in towards yourself. See if you can hold on to the feet or the ankles. And you're kind of gently drawing the feet down towards each side. And taking a few breaths. Remember, you can do your figure four pose instead with your left ankle over your right knee, and just draw your hips in if that feels better. Last breath. And then releasing, coming into whatever version of happy baby you like, is to release the legs. And then we're going to bring the knees back together again, feet down. And any last movement that you'd like to do, feel free. Otherwise, you can come into your final Shavasana. It can be really nice to put one block under each knee. If you have two blocks, or if you have your bolster handy, it just kind of supports the legs in this slightly bent position, which helps the legs to relax and it helps the back to relax. You want to go outside? Just let yourself settle. It's like when you've kind of shaken up one of those snow globes. We've kind of shaken up our energy. Although we've been grounding it, we've also been moving a bit. And now we want to just let everything settle to the bottom again. Everything settle to the ground, to the earth. Noticing your energy body. It's always amazing how when we stop in our Shavasana and relax, we really feel our prana, our life force moving. And for me right now, it's really apparent in my legs and hips and lower body. I feel very activated there. Just letting any control of the breath go and just be with your natural rhythm. You're really soaking in, really integrating the practice. Is there somewhere else you can let go of? Somewhere you're holding? And just be fully with the earth. And feel now, has everything settled? If you have a little bit longer, you're of course welcome and encouraged to just stay a little bit longer until you feel that everything is completely settled, if it's not already. If you're ready to go, if you're ready to start moving again, you can. You can just take a few deeper breaths. Take a little bit of a stretch through the arms, through the legs, maybe a nice big yawn. You can roll onto one side of the body when you're ready to. And then slowly help yourself up when you're ready. Finishing in a seated position. Once you're seated, just closing the eyes again. And acknowledging now perhaps this feeling of more energy being in the lower body. It's definitely that way for me. I feel this sense of safety and solidity with my legs, feet, hips. And this much lighter feeling in my head. But just notice what's there for you. And you can bring your two hands together, blessing yourself, thanking yourself, bowing your head to your heart. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you in the next video.